Yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg apologizing for COVID censorship. Elon making a massive transition into supporting free speech. I mean, he's always stood up for his companies, but now he seems to be standing up for humanity at large. Which,
Sure.
kudos to him. I had a hard time trusting that in the beginning. I mean, as
still
any,
do.
yeah, right. You still have to second guess everything. But every day that it persists, I'm a little bit more on the Elon, the pro Elon.
Like I said,
camp. But
it's the same thing with Jerome Powell. Same thing with dude.
Right.
I know. Same thing with Jamie Dimon. Like, is Dimon going to go out there and make a deal with Davos to go make some money for J.P. Morgan? Yeah. Is Jamie Dimon going to advocate to Powell to say, oh, by the way, I'm stealing this money from Klaus Schwab, but raise interest rates to 6% anyway. I can see him doing both of those things before lunch.
Yeah.
My 11:15 as I talk to Powell, my 11:15 I talk to this guy and I screw him over, and 11:30 I talk to Powell and then screw some other guy over. I don't ascribe morals to these people. They have the morals of friggin' sea slugs. What are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But
so when I look back, at COVID and other eras, I see what you describe as the informational industrial complex as the demoralization campaign agents, right? The delivery of the agents of delivering that. I also now see AI coming on the scene, which is throwing jet fuel on the demoralization campaign fire.
Yep. Always trying to.
But simultaneously, I see these execs, and I don't quite trust them yet, right? I don't know if it's just for show, if it's just for the face of the company, or if it's really true that they're rethinking the censorship apparatus.
I don't trust Mark Zuckerberg as far as I can throw him, but I can tell you that if he's trying to bend the knee, two things. One, they're now hedging their bets about a Trump victory. That's one.
Right.
Two, that's the big one. That's the obvious one. The second is someone's told him that, oh, by the way, we can take Facebook out. It's not like the very people that made Facebook, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, or the book runners on the original IPO own a shit ton of Facebook stock. If you don't think that they don't have Zuckerberg by the short and curly, data by the short and curlies, you're crazy. There comes up. So again, I know a lot of the criticisms I've heard of my arguments about the banks, about the big banks on Wall Street. And I'll tell you this: it's well, if they felt this, why didn't they do anything about this before 2017? Because they couldn't. Because Davos had political and monetary control, and they have a fiduciary interest to their shareholders ultimately. And if this is the battlefield and you can't win, do you charge the light brigade into the abyss and go, see, I'm a martyr for the cause? Or do you keep everything going and live to fight another day? Or do your best under this is my problem with the unnuanced look at it. This guy was a bad guy in the past, therefore he's still a bad guy today.
Yeah, no.
Come
on. That makes total.
What are we all 12?
Right. This makes total sense. This makes total sense. If your analysis is right, Jerome's pulling the interest rate lever. It's essentially draining finance from the globalists. You have if Wall Street is sitting here at the same time saying, "Hey, man, this DEI thing, this global reset thing, not so good for us. We need to be maybe taking the reins back here. We got Jerome on our side. We got SOFR on our side. Let's now put pressure on the technocracy to join us, or the carrot and the stick." Because immediately after, and we'll get into this hopefully too, immediately after the Trump assassination attempt is when the voices changed.
Yep.
And
they all knew, everybody knew that Trump was going to be killed in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It was the worst kept secret in DC, Brussels, London, Wall Street. Everybody fucking knew. Whether they knew or they didn't know, they knew something was going to happen. And clearly they were all acting this way. They could read it. Look, it's not like Zuckerberg that can't read people's body language. And Ursula von der Leyen is walking around like cock of a fucking walk. You don't think she knows?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like David Cameron, all these freaking people, they all knew. They all told you they knew. Don't worry about Trump. He won't be around anyway. I mean, everybody thought, oh, they're going to put him in jail. No, they're going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So, the timing on it was perfect. And all of that. So at some point, then he survives. Right? And I've said this on multiple podcasts. I'm not a particularly religious person, but
I don't know how else you can look at it. Like
hard.
The only other way you can look at it is that it was a setup, and that's so unfathomable. Like, who's going to say, take a shot and just miss me, right? Like, that's never going to happen.
That's so fake and gay. Okay, FYI, cope is one letter removed from hope, which is one letter removed from mope. Like, fuck off. Like, this is not tough. Okay? It's just, look.
It's unfathomable. It's obvious that that poor kid was put on that roof as the patsy.
Yep.
I don't think he took the shot.
Oh, I do actually. I think he took the shot.
Do? You do?
Yeah. I'm
because I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard, and early on, I'm like, yeah, there's no way there's more than one shooter. Or there's only one shooter. Blah 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 blah. The more we looked at it, I think the more it's obvious that no, this is what happened.
You think there was one shooter?
I think it was him. I think it's not a really difficult shot. I don't think. I mean, I give you that. I give you that. And the kid, and just a series of events occurred, Keystone Cop style, orgy of incompetence, that means we're talking about an organized conspiracy. When there's that much incompetence, incompetence doesn't cut it at that point as an explanatory as to how events work themselves out. And we got lucky.
Yeah, we got lucky.
And and we should be able to. And look, and that is also a hard thing for a lot of people to accept. Hey, we got lucky. Assassination attempts fail all the time. Robert Fico's still alive in Slovakia. Viktor Orban's still alive in Hungary.
Right.
Putin's still alive. Like these people have all been targeted multiple times in the past. This one was perfect, and the shot missed. And then things happen. And
do you think it's waking? Do you think it's waking a number of people up?
Trump's response was epic in a way that was, I'm an easy cry, like at movies and all this stuff, because I'm so angry most of the time about everything that when I see anything like edifying about humanity, it just like breaks my fucking heart, right?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I mean,
I totally relate.
Yeah, it's like I spend most of my day in free-floating hostility about the state of the world, and I sit down and watch a fucking anime, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. Okay, here we go. Watched an episode of Cowboy Bebop the other night, and I was like, oh, fuck, this hits hard. But yeah, the complexity is the hard part.
Right.
Of just saying, look, shit happened. Sometimes it goes your way.
Man.
Sometimes they fail.
Yeah.
Even though it's perfect. It doesn't just happen in the movies.
You think they're done with that?
No, I do not. I think they're going to try again. I don't think Trump has a clear path to inauguration. I think they've got 8. I think there's at least 14 different ways they're going to try and screw with the fact that he's not going to make it to the election, to the inauguration. They'll invoke the Electoral College. They'll try and decertify certain states to ensure that nobody gets a majority. They're going to do everything procedural that you're seeing Emmanuel Macron do in France.
So you've heard Bitcoin is the new gold rush by now. As world leaders on all sides have endorsed it as the future of money, and now you're looking to get started, we'll show you how. It's actually easier than you think. First, go to your nearest ByteFederal ATM and turn your cash to coin. ByteFederal has over 1,200 locations around the country with the highest daily limits. Go to our website, ByteFederal.com, to find the nearest ATM to you. Log in to any wallet, then create an account, deposit your US cash, and instantly convert it to Bitcoin. That's it. We are the only U.S. manufacturer and operator in the Bitcoin ATM industry, and our U.S.-based live customer service is second to none. Go on, give it a whirl, and don't get left behind. Click the link below.